Hi guys, this is Jose Diego Monroy with Ali Associates. This time I had the honor and privilege to interview Gary Hutton. He's executive director for one of the school districts in Texas, and he's going to share with us a little more about him, what he does, the type of projects that he works in, and he's going to give us some advice. Gary, thank you very much for being here with us. This is for we're broadcasting for JDN Academy for new students or graduates in civil engineering or architectural or construction management. Good afternoon.
Well, thank you. So my name is Gary Hutton. I am the Exec Director of Planning and Construction. Basically, my role in the district is to be the interpreter for the educational side, to explain to the contractor and the architect what is needed in the campus. So I interpret school language to architectural language and back and forth. My qualifications, I studied architecture in South Africa. I immigrated to the United States 20 years ago. Worked for an architect here locally in the Houston area, and about 15 years ago transitioned into the owner's role from architecture. My job every day is varied. I could be on building sites, I could be in meetings, I could be meeting with the superintendent, I could be doing design with the design team. One of the reasons I enjoy this role is we do everything. Schools are a microcosm of everything you could possibly do. We do kitchens. If you're doing restaurants, we've got that covered. Sports facilities. Right now in the district, I'm busy completing a stadium. We do schools, lecture halls, theaters. So schools are a microcosm of just about any kind of work you could possibly want to do, except maybe roads and bridges. But even then, we still cover some of that as well. So it's a very, very varied role and an exciting role if you want to get into school.
Tell us on your educational background. You said you went to college in Africa. What for Africa? What is the experience? Some of my students are also international students, so we come from all over the world. Tell us a little bit about your experience in college. You study obviously architecture, and your excitement about maybe coming to America and work on these types of projects.
So in South Africa, I studied architecture, as I mentioned before, and actually did schools in South Africa. And schools, like most people who live outside the United States, schools aren't the same as they are here, especially in Texas, with the facilities that we provide. And so we built classrooms. I did schools in small rural communities all over South Africa. And so when I came here to the United States, I wasn't necessarily looking for a school background, but I was fortunate enough to land up back at schools doing schools. My first major in college was education, and so that's where I get the interpretation from. So I understand schools, I taught in schools, and so my architectural and education background makes a perfect role in this for this position.
Now, you mentioned some of your daily activities as your job here in the Spring ISD. How many people you deal with, at least at this point, when you have a couple projects or different projects, how many people you deal with, how many architects, engineers, and how is that collaboration? What would be an effective collaboration in your standpoint of view?
So we have 5 major active projects currently. And so we have 5 different architectural teams working on projects currently. And so we're meeting with different teams all the time. So there's an architect and an engineer, a civil engineer, structural engineer, mechanical engineers. Each of those projects has a different team, and so there's a different set of people to work with there on every one of those. So there's different personalities. You have to learn to work with different personalities, and especially on the education side with principals, you've really got to understand their needs and understand how to work with them, because they're the ones with the students, and ultimately they're the ones who own the building. And so you really have to work to make a facility work for them. So knowing what they're looking for is key in getting your projects.
Gary, to finalize the interview, what will be your advice, your recommendation for either high school students that are in the science, in engineering, architectural majors, or technology? And what will be your advice to the new engineers or the new architects or even the new construction managers that just graduated to be able to be very successful in infrastructure projects?
So, know your why. If you're coming into this industry to do a job and make an income and go home every day, I think you'll be disappointed. You have to know your why. You have to know why you come to work every day. And if it's just for a salary, that there's other jobs you can do that will be rewarding. Accounting be one of them. But if you're coming here into this industry, this construction industry in general, with a why, my why is because I want to make an impact on students' lives. I want to make a facility that those students remember, that'll make an impact on their life when in the future they remember the building they went to elementary school in, or they went to middle school in. Teachers make an impact daily on our students' lives, so do our facility. And so for me, my why is to make an impact on those students' lives. And that's what gets me up every morning and coming to work. That's what gets me through frustrations of dealing with issues. When it's too wet to work and it's raining and you've got a deadline coming up and you're frustrated, you have to know a why. And if it's just a salary, you're not going to make it through those days.
Well, Gary, I really appreciate your time. I know you're a very, very busy person. On behalf of our YouTube channel, we thank you and wish you good luck on all your projects. Thank you, Gary.